Okay, I'm back for technically the third session of post game at this point. It's obviously in the middle of the episode probably, but yeah, I have slightly more facial hair in this one. I forgot to shave, but we're gonna have to deal with that. I'm gonna have to deal with that. My face is getting all itchy. I don't like it. All right, well, I have an upgrade disc. I've closed myself off. We're on day 50 now, so obviously. There's a lot of skipping going around. I've probably skipped so many days, but I have a new task as of waking up, and that is magnifying glass every single document again and confirm details. Because after finding that 10 on the map, I feel like I need to be double checking literally everything. So I'll be doing that, and if I find anything new, we'll skip to that. If I don't find anything new, then there's really no point. But I will be doing that as much as I can. Right now, I don't have a magnifying glass, which is unfortunate. I set this all up so that maybe with the attic and everything, I would end up with a magnifying glass, but it didn't happen. I even got a power hammer. I bought the Morning Star, which didn't even get to use it, just bought it. And we have a torch. Can't do anything. Unfortunate. But yeah, I grabbed the trading post upgrade disc that I missed. There we go. So let's upgrade another room. The mail room. Huh. Same day delivery? Oh, really? No contact delivery? The package will be dropped off at the entrance. That may be better. Same day delivery after you reach rank 8. Can't guarantee that, but like no contact delivery? Ooh. A very large package will be delivered 3 days after drafting. I'm going to be honest, no contact is still sounding the best. Huh, these are really cool floor plans. Yeah, no contact. That way I don't have to, like, draft it again. We'll just, I draft a mailroom the day before and we can grab some free stuff. Hell yeah. Okay, so that's about all I got here. Let's keep going. Okay, we have the magnifying glasses run. Thank God I found that, like, right away in the conservatory, which I actually made the chapel more rare. And in the conservatory, there was also the boiler room. I made that commonplace because I'd like to get it way more often than I'm getting it. I don't remember what the last one was, but I'll go back and check. But either way, we have this, and I don't believe we've ever magnifying glass this. The game does lag out here because it's got to load stuff, apparently. That's why next page is grayed out. There it goes. I learned my lesson with that one. Okay. Inheritance. Room 46 in blue. You tell me it took me 21 hours to get there? Huh. Average day. We're just basically scanning for anything secret, because after finding that 10, I don't doubt that you could have very tiny ink that you just can't see, apparently. Because I could not see the 10 on the actual floor plan at all. Either way, this is good information to actually confirm instead of me basically half using the magnifying glass. Because what I've been doing up to this point is like, that looks like it could have a secret, and then zooming into that spot. I haven't really been looking very well. And after reading the new clue, I've learned my lesson. Okay, we got nothing on this one either. Speaking of that, there's a book down there. I ordered Curse of the Black Bridge, so we're going to read that quick as well. 9 upgrade discs. Damn. 3 red letters. Oh, you're tracking that now, too. Feels like they're adding pages. Okay. I really wish I could use mouse and keyboard for this. This is very awkward with an analog stick. Okay, that is that whole book. I didn't see anything that actually stood out. You have a lot of pictures. Okay, before I look at the picture, let's just get the blank page out of the way. Yeah, nothing. Aunt Holly scrapbook. Okay. That's just tape. Okay. Okay, nothing stands out on the first page. There's a lot going on this page. Why these specifically, though? Why did you choose these pictures? You're showing the padlock. Are you just showing it because I've opened it? You got the Reddington postcard. November 5th. No. You got that picture of you. Where is this? That looks like a bathroom. That's a bathtub behind you. Okay, well, I don't actually see anything here either. Claim check. Oh. What? What are all these numbers? Isn't it supposed to say Cinca? M the 12 or just 11-4 QZ LWSKRJ 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 is backwards on that. Oh, what does that say? It's actually too tiny. Seems to be the same on all three. I'll take a picture of this. I don't know what the hell that would mean, though. Interesting. You're also pointing first item checked. That is in the claim check. I've never really looked at that room too closely. Okay. Favorite floor plans. Okay, I don't picture anything like on the armory picture. Can't seem to ever pass it up. I sure can't. Kind of surprised it turned into my favorite floor plan so quickly. 18 gems on security? 22 on the drawing room? Yeah, that makes sense. That room I've gotten too comfy in, though. It's just in and out. I don't feel like there's so many pictures in that room. I feel like I need to actually explore that one. Contraptions I made. Wow, I made a lot of stuff. Okay, these are just items. I don't feel like there's going to be much in here, but and half of this isn't filled out, so you can't like look at this and assume it's going to stay blank. Like, this will be filled in eventually when I finally make it. Largest purchase. Bookshop receipt. Okay, nothing there. Now, what are these squares? I have no idea. You have just a page of squares. Like, nothing's filled in. Okay, observatory. Very strange that you just randomly have a picture of the observatory telescope here. And this, which I've recently learned is a holly leaf. Turns out the mountain in the background is shaped like holly as well. It would explain the name Mount Holly. Maybe one day, most avoided floor plan. It's because it costs 5 gems to go in. I can't do it. Oh, highest grade 3. All right. Kind of thought we were on the last page. I tried so hard to get to grade 4, but I just can't. Every time I try, I dead end myself. Okay, there's nothing more on this. But I had to be sure. I actually feel like I looked at so many documents in the beginning of the game before we had knowledge that it would. Chances are I passed so many clues just because of that, and we have to go back. I did get Curse of Blackbridge, okay? I'm the first borrower. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to assume from now on that, like, if it is a completely blank page like this, probably don't need to magnify, but, like, stuff on the page. You could hide some text in here, but we'd be here forever if I did that. The Legend of Blackbridge is one that is well known to the people of Grand Realm. For versions of this tale have been passed down from generation to generation. With each new telling, the story has changed, becoming over the years more colorful, more verbose, and, as one might expect, increasingly horrifying. However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of confining and binding this tale to text has seemed an ambitious and impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I have heard dozens of variations of the legend, and while the details would often change, I was surprised how much of the story's heart remained the same. Yet, the more I listened, the clearer it became that there could never be a definitive version of this tale capable of capturing all of the myth and wonder and myth of Blackbridge. In the end, I chose to write down what I felt most authentic, the story my grandmother told me as a boy long ago. Let me just... Whoo! Part 1 and Part 2. This is quite long. Settle in. The Berry Picker from Oris. We got nothing there. Let me just get you off screen. Many years ago, before peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues, some so wayward that the locals deemed it inappropriate to call their number unholy hounds. And they were feral outlaws composed of society's worst in a time when society was at its worst. And for each crime that fearful travelers credited to the group, a dozen more laid unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise, high road robbery. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in his life, having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyway to sustain his pitiful existence. It is not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take any easy road out. An easy and well-traveled road paved with temptations, leading out of the city and into the gentry lands where loose purse strings entwine with the strands of salvation and glisten equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jesper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviors, that notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. Despite the hardened circumstances that led him to this vocation of banditry, Jesper was surprisingly tender-hearted and was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. Ignoble. For this reason, Jesper was assigned the innocent role of berry picker. It was not just innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. Jesper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he alone worked while the others slept soundly, tucked away in the cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. On one such occurrence, Jesper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set out into the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest treetops. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jesper could reach the furthermost berry patches without worry of being chastised for tarrying upon his return. Hold on. Okay. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way, Jesper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several months in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jesper was patient, but even patience has its limits. He was confident that even accounting for the time lost to this long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pains. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jesper. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed as numerous as stars in the sky. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he had regained his senses, Jesper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of this newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute the success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jesper set off to fill his basket, making steady strides in this task, when the sound of thundering hooves interrupted him. Hold. Nothing. A carriage was approaching. The thought of it made Jesper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by his discovery that he neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept toward the impending sound, hiding behind one of the larger bushes nearby. It was only a moment before the sound source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jesper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around a corner of trees, led by 2 beautiful white horses and conveyed by a stern-looking driver seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jesper had ever seen. It was not just any carriage, it was a royal carriage. Even without ever having witnessed such a sight before, Jesper was certain. The sight had so transfixed him that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch, and upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such effect that the noble steeds slid to a sudden halt, with precise control. Nothing. Look at him over there. That's a royal carriage? You, boy, get out from behind that bush, he shouted with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. You startled me half to death coming round the bend of my own drive, and me seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought not be any face. Jesper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behavior, not dashing through the bramble and mud. I was picking berries. Jesper raised the half-filled basket up to allow the driver to see proof of his words. The demeanor of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jesper was familiar with. He had many times seen the same stern expressions on the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with a berry basket. Any suspicions that the driver might have had instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the unholy hounds picking berries seemed farcical. The softened expression even made allowances for a smile. Berries, eh? Say, could you have picked a better spot for them, could you? You couldn't have picked a better spot, could you? I used to pick berries here as I was a boy. As a boy. Jesper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. I know, and what luck I found them. I have only just begun picking, and look how many I have. It would have taken me fourfold the time back home to procure this number. The driver bent down for a closer look. And where is your home, boy? Must be quite far. Jesper replied with a scripted response. A little south of Tanner Fork, just past the burnt woods. My God, that is far. You couldn't have come all that way only this morning. It was true, Tanner Fork was in the exact opposite direction that Jesper had traveled. And while that response would seem perfectly reasonable in a closer location closer to Blackbridge Canyon, he could see why it might seem less believable here. This seems like information. Technically, because they're saying he's using Tanner Fork as an excuse when it's the exact opposite direction. We have been told Tanner Fork, so to Tanner Fork, but we already did that, didn't we? No, we didn't. That was a different thing. That was the bridge buried thingy. Yeah. Okay, this is good information to think about then. Sir, I have traveled much farther for much less profit. I dare say there's no distance yet made by man that would not be worth undertaking for a prize such as these. Surely you have tasted them for yourself. Jesper felt happier with this response, as it seemed to amplify the man's smile. In my youth often, but perhaps I took it for granted because I never had to travel very far. And even then my father would always drive us here in our carriage, so I'm ashamed I never had to walk such a stretch to earn an equal reward. It was Jesper's time to smile. And then let my efforts reward us both today. He raised the basket even higher. A taste of memory in your youth, sir. Okay. The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket, and at the moment his fingers touched the first berry, the dagger in turn met his throat, cutting... Oh. The driver? Cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jesper caught the man's startled eyes, and for that taste, I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth. Oh no, this is Jesper. His fingers touched the first berry that day. Okay. The driver's arm had gone stiff, his chin raised and trembling, more frightened than he'd ever been before. Whether unable to or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged at this particular time. Jesper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. Do not mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me no cause. No, I will admit, the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you the indignity of walking appeals to me. Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jesper pivoted to search the seat under him. Why have you no purse upon your person? The driver slowly raised his hand cautiously, pointing towards the carriage door behind him. Jesper lowered the knife's edge a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did in turn softly. There's a lockbox in the carriage. Well, come down then and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands, a concession I assure you of my tender heart, for it would be much easier to slit your throat. The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of the carriage. Once down, Jesper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree, where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jesper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smile and kindness Jesper had seen on the man's face, now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold dark eyes displaying no emotion. I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you're showing me? Jesper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it, secured the final bindings, and then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. If there is no lockbox, there will be no clemency. Inside, the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished golden facade of the exterior. It had apparently been many years since a passenger had enjoyed passage in this vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jesper had suspected. The driver of this carriage was not a liveried servant, liveried in the employ of some great master. Any curiosity that this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage's back seat, a large wooden lockbox. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few minutes, Jesper had dislodged it from its hold and carried it out into the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, 2 observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all 4 sides of the box hinted that the box was very old and likely not created by Orindian hands. Oh, it's a Morajai box. It reminded him of artifacts from the old world and was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Oh, maybe not. Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock and would not open easily without a key. Jesper looked over to see the driver quietly observing from his indentured position. "Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box?" Without emotion, the driver replied, "There is no key to that box." Jesper stood up. Easy enough then. He headed over to a nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted up the stone up, carrying it back to the box. If there was ever a time when that lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. With one hit, the stone had completely shattered the rusted lock. He bent down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jesper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised how heavy it seemed given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly to the man, hoping to find an explanation. The driver smiled. The driver's smile had once again returned. "You are cursed, boy, for deadly is the stone. You have opened that which should never have been opened, and you are cursed." Jesper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it in front of his face. "What is it?" "And that's one." Feeling disappointed. "That's one?" Feeling his disappointment rising to anger now, Jesper tightened his grip on the effigy. "One what, you mumbling agenter? And in God's name, why have you no purse on your person, upon you?" The man did not seem intimidated. "One pace." He paused for effect. 12 more and you'll be dead." He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. So he knocked the man out. If there was ever a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. Jesper looked down at the sculpted stone figure and now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had, of course, heard stories of curses and had never doubted their validity in the past, but now that he was standing face to face with the possibility of being cursed, his mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. And if he was cursed, what difference would the knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he could live maybe another 3-4 days, maybe more, given the abundance of nearby berries. A plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do? To be discovered here beside a body, stolen goods in hand, bloated from berries and raving about a curse that could very well not be real. No, it would most certainly be better to face one's fate now. Take a dozen paces and see if life goes on. But Jesper found his legs unable to make that first step. His mind was unable to convince his limbs to waste away 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling the desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked about him for a solution. And if by some stroke of the luck the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him, as if he'd found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of golden trim were beside him. The answer was his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces back to the road. 4. Perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made a quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. So he's going to sit on the carriage forever? No, wait. Nothing hiding in here. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be of some value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task, too great a chance. And so, after a profound breath, he took his second, third, and fourth steps. though they were quite large. And seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins and suddenly realized that he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If, on the other hand, the story was fictitious, there might be some appraisal that could be made of the figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox, whose typical function oft secures objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution, Jesper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand let go. If it is cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow. And if I die, what care have I? And with that statement said aloud to the horses, seemingly, Jesper took up the reins with confidence. This is an interesting story. Assuming this is the bandit's cave. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have the cheek to awake her in such ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again, teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered. She was on third watch today, quietly collecting her things and wits. Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend, who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful not to wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked towards the sun-drenched mouth of the cave, ready to start her shift. Above her, in one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. She waved, and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered a braid of rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following the finger, and saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn, Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There was not much room for maneuvering in this tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she had been. Miller laughed silently as water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and noisy of a joke, and had the others been around, they would have certainly been scolded for the unwarranted sound. But Miller appreciated the efforts Ravia took to verbalize the silence of the morning. They had been on third watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time, their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds, as she had felt camaraderie before, of course, but intimacy never. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern as well as a clear view of the bridge that spanned across the canyon. Black Bridge was the link between the gentry lands and the northern mountains, the overpass that connected Orris and Reddington. To the city-faring travelers of the realm, the bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travelers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farmhands and bricklayers, but to a cavern-housed bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expressions, nor to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. I hear you on that. No secrets. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, subtly shook her head in response. There were many signs that the unholy hounds used in lieu of words, but the two of them that had developed an extended vocabulary. Gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their month among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted in placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinting through the leaves, the two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long until Miller, too, heard the sounds of approach. Ravia held up two bent fingers, and a few moments later, two men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in familiar uniform, long gray coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. They belonged to the local patrol, the Blackguard. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Blackbridge wasn't an unusual sight. It typically indicated an important traveler's impending passage across the bridge, information that the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the Unholy Hound, she had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguards was nearby. Okay. The men had nearly reached the bridge's north end when Miller heard the horses, faintly at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, the same concern mirrored in each other's expression. This did not sound like the typical carriage, cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead of a familiar crunch of the high road's gravel, they heard a harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had knocked an arrow and drawn her bow. Go! Ravia was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, racing towards the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion. Both the girls had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a Blackguard attack. Blackguard. I think that's how they pronounce it. The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow, and she was surprised to see a carriage. She'd expected cavalry. Before she even finished processing that thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such rough terrain. Yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. A third arrow was now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch, slamming into an embankment. The force of this sudden halt immediately shattered the front two wheels and catapulted the driver from the seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of unholy hounds came spilling forth from the earth as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Ravia among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for a silent gesture to convey what they were both realized now. They had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, Jeffrey Heartslasher, led the others, cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspicious fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay a far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him, a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. Ooh. There's more. Just in case this effigy actually, is represented in game. Can't really tell what it is, but... Okay. I don't know why I took another picture. I meant to hit next. Miller was inconsolable. Jesper had always been her favorite. He had always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child tails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted, she had always called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nettles of this cave, but he still had thorns, honed by a grim past and 100 hands of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness, in the back of one of the larger cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he had treasured. The mysterious effigy they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighboring plots. No one spoke, not even a whisper. There was nothing to say. You seem to have the little core symbol there for Orinda, I believe. Miller awoke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of the earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. These sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her, but even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder, and intense voices could be heard ahead, louder speech than she had ever heard spoken in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now open wide, despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness, pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed two bent fingers against her cheek, and with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. Two bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began, blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Fodrick Lee of the Blackguard looked down from the ridge of the canyon to the collapsed entrance of the cave. Ah, he grinned. Now they speak. So they forgot to mention that there were two blackguards up top during all this, and then did they crush them? They collapsed the entrance of the cave and locked all the people, or they're probably all died in there. Interesting. Ah, now they speak. Why that line? Interesting. I'm gonna come back to this after. This was very long, and this was a lot to take in, but thankfully I recorded it all, and you know, I can go back to whatever I need to check if there's any information here. The fact that they named their network after this is interesting. Why would they do? Is it just because of the bandit relation? Because they stole from the royal family? Not wait, Herbert named the network, didn't he? Yeah, Herbert named the network. He didn't steal from them, though. I don't know. I'm gonna piece everything together later, but at the moment, it's still unclear as to why they named it Blackbridge. That's all I'm thinking about here. Other than the fact that he was harboring fugitives that stole from the royal family. I also went back and saw the archive when I read the archive thing, and I thought they just stole gems, but they also stole a crown, which is very interesting because we've only found gems so far, but I bet one of the safes might have the crown, which would be really cool. Anyway, that's the end of that. That was a very long book, and I have to restart my day after that. Oh, wait. You're not locked? You're not locked. Oh, why did I think I was locked out? Speaking of the archives. I have shelter, so I'm not affected by this right now. This. I can finally go through these again. What do you have on there? That's not a moon pendant. Epson wears the moon pendant, not Mom. Mom wears something else. There might be something on here. I definitely didn't have a magnifying glass during here, and I'm very much going to write down the dates before I continue. I just want to triple check. I'm looking for anything that doesn't... It looks like it has a... Even the tiniest line on it. No. Okay, this picture seems relevant. That says white. So Manning is this guy. White, this would be Paul, right? Wait, was it Paul White or Paul Withers? No, not Paul. Philip. Philip White. That's their... Is Paul in here? Is it Paul? It's with. It's not White. It's with P is the name. So we're not looking for him. We're looking for, I believe it's Paul Withers. This is also relevant. A luncheon date at the 100 Bells Tea Room in Trinsdale. She got in a carriage at 3:45 and then she went missing right there. Hold on. Jesus, I have so many pictures. That was hard to find. This letter in the basement to Sandy Heights, 5 p.m. and it has the 100 Bells Tea Room right there. But she left at 3:45. Last seen by a close friend around 3:45, getting into a carriage after a late luncheon. So why would they meet early? That's interesting. I don't know how to go about that. That's a much better view. Okay, you're wearing a swan necklace. Swanson G? I don't know why I never noticed that before. I just assumed she had the, I kept saying Mom's pendant. Never looked at this either. I don't think there's anything on that picture. Okay. This is the last page. Either way, we've like reaffirmed some information. You know what I really want is to run into Alzara again. I need more Alzara. That'll certainly help, but... Alright, I guess I'm gonna continue. Oh, right. There's another thing here. Okay. We double check everything again. I think I missed. Okay. Okay, it's pretty clear there's nothing going on in this one, but we have to double check. Okay, I could definitely check my thing off the list here. There's a pawn in the solarium. Not really important anymore, but good to know. This was the message to Mr. Nagul about pressing the buttons. In the cloister. Sympathetically, Bridget. Okay, nothing hiding there. Okay, it doesn't seem like any info in there, but you are the only one I haven't solved. Wait, I think yellow always just moves straight up, right? Green goes down, but only when yellow is there. Wait, do I need green? I need green. Okay. So yellow moves up, green moves down. Right, okay. And then green swaps with the yellow across from it? Therefore, I could go... Yeah, okay. And then I swap them. Wow, this is the easiest puzzle ever. I only spent like... How long did I spend on this? I think I definitely edited it down, so... I think I had the edited version's like 3 or 4 minutes, but I spent like 10 minutes on this, not understanding the goal. If I would have just pressed the sides, I would have got it. Okay, I think I can check that off now. All right, we've returned to the gallery. But... Shit, I can't interact with those. Are you kidding me? No! I was really hoping I could interact and maybe see some hidden text that would reveal the letters or something. How do we solve you? Legitimately, nothing in this room feels like it tells me what they're asking for, which makes me think I have to look elsewhere. I mean, they only give you so many letters per, so you could do some, like... You could do some tests. Like, okay, you gave me another... You're giving me a vowel. This is a vowel. Or an H. Or an R? Or a T. Because you could go, like, ST or TH. So they're in very specific spots, so you can kind of guess... a little bit of what you're going for, but there are just too many variations. Tartan. I have no idea. Someday we'll solve you. Someday. Maybe. I mean, if I don't get any, like... If I don't get any notes or anything that explain what's going on in the gallery room, I may literally never solve this. But if it comes down to that, then we look up some hints. But for now... Okay, technically I've ended this day. I can't do anything else because I just froze my account and then came in here and couldn't spend a gem to use the one that actually turns. I thought maybe there'd be a note in here, but there are a few notes I'm going to go back and look at since I didn't get to because I didn't have a magnifying glass. What is in here? Anything? Okay, well I can check the magnifying glass after. Is there any notes that I want to double check? Laboratory, I want to look over again. Boudoir had the Christmas photo. I believe we already magnifying that. I've done that a few times actually. Yeah, there was nothing. Conservatory, no. Darkroom, maybe we go back and look at those again. Yeah, sure. Oh, and the entrance hall. Screw it. We'll look at you as well. You never know. Nothing on that. You have never looked at. Nuance. 10. Nuance. What are the name of the cities? Ares, Fen Ares, Nuance. Is Reddington its own thing, or is that a city in Fen Ares? I don't remember. I'm guessing Nuance, the symbol for Nuance, is a, like, innovation or something, because they got a blimp there. And that, to me, sounds like innovation over anything. I believe Reddington's or Fen Ares or whatever the main area is probably Marshall, by the sounds of it. Okay, so this is our congratulation note, which means we can never again look at the how-to note. I hope there was nothing important on it. Herbert S. Sinclair. This is something as well. There's some sort of meaning to this. I don't know if we have to, like, learn how to scramble words. There was that one thing in the library that we just saw that had a bunch of letters that looked kind of out of place and weird. Ovin Navarre. Okay, there's nothing on this letter. Thank you, though. And the trophy list? You have a hidden secret? You know, it'd be really unfortunate. What if you have to, like, get all the check marks on the trophy list? And then the piece of paper has, like, a hidden message on it? They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do. I don't even know how to reach room 46 in under an hour or one day. I think it's physically impossible because I'd have to start a new file, right? Day 1 trophy. Like, how would you do that? Does this carry over if because you have 3 slots? You have to keep deleting it? How does that? I don't know. Okay, we'll double check you again. No, and we already know the secret here. 1128. And this said that they made a larger print of this. Where did you deliver it? For one of her rooms in the West Wing. That's got to mean something. They enclosed this photograph and had it zoomed in for... or blown up for some reason. Okay. Still not sure about you. Why are you taking a picture of a camera in the bathroom? Are you just taking a picture in the mirror? No, because it says Syncaco. Like, why take a picture in the bathroom? Is that a tub? Is there a secret in the lavatory? I mean, my main thing is I'm assuming, based on the name Sinclair, Cinca Co. is probably the thing, his company that got him rich, right? Well, not got him rich, but it's been the family business or something, and he's showing off a product right here in the bathroom. That's what I'm getting from this, but I don't know. Like, why else would you be posed like this with a camera? This I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, why make a bunch of blown up versions? I guess maybe this one is to showcase that the servant quarters is behind him? Maybe? These are all the same. Why is this just your face? Weird. And then you. And I believe this actually looks a little... She's sitting in a place of... in the office, which is a big important thing. I bet this is Babbage. Not the maid who I thought. That would be Bridget or the other one. Babbage has like the head of the household as far as like maids go, servants go. Nothing on here. But to me, that's Babbage, and this might be Bridget, or this might be Bridget. I don't know. Do we know any other names? They're Anne, Babbage, Bridget, and that's it, maybe? I haven't read this since the beginning. Typically work over at Cinco Lab, got sent over to assist Moore. So we did hear about Moore a long time ago. I just forgot he existed. Any tips appreciated? Oh. Okay, then you had... Cooler is unaffected. I didn't even think about that. Oh, okay. This is directly related to the freezer. Okay. The cooler is unaffected by what looks like 17 degrees where it stops normally. So cooler needs to be way hotter than that. Oh, the game told us like way early on. Whoops. You got any secrets? You don't. This isn't the only thing I'm doing. I'm just doing this right now because I didn't spawn the rooms to progress any of the to-do lists that I built, unfortunately, so... Alright, I believe that is everything I can check right now. Let's restart the day. Okay. Completely random. But you can turn on the water in the kitchen. Which makes a lot more sense that we can use the pump room in the kitchen. But what is the point of this? The pool makes sense. You drain it. You get to walk in there. The greenhouse, I have no idea. Aquarium would probably kill all the fish, but maybe it would reveal a clue. But what do you do? If I turn off the water, you just can't interact with the sink. I gotta be honest, I have no idea, but I had no idea I could click this either. It doesn't show up. Okay, it shows up fairly well. I don't know how I'm missing things. I need to be like walking up to every little thing because apparently I'm missing interactions I just didn't know about. So you can do that. It makes me want to put well, I've been trying to get a pump room. To put a pump room in and drain it for some odd reason. Like, I have no idea. Why would I do this? But I'm so curious. Maybe this run we get lucky? I got a triple tunnel on the left. We could build a pump room probably. I'm gonna get lucky. What the... Okay, this makes no sense. So I was trying to interact with everything and I saw this, right? This big circle that looks like the thingy, and then I went right and I was like, what? What am I looking at? I can't tell if that is security room monitors or those squares. Those squares in the record book in the library room. I don't remember the formation they had. Did I? Hold on, did I take a picture? I guess it would have been recent. No, I did not. Damn it. I need a magnifying glass. So, yeah, I found in the attic, apparently. Interesting that this symbol is nowhere else, I don't think. I haven't really looked at the chairs that much, but I haven't seen a chair like that. Or haven't paid attention, one of the two. Security room's all the way on the left. I'm gonna check it later, but I'm very curious about that. Is there something going on that monitor that you circled? I don't know. Oh. Wait a minute. I created the boiler room. I'm on the right side right now, and I have a secret garden key. So, I'm tempted. I need to see it, yeah. But, where's the red box? There you are. This pipe. This pipe. It only goes forward, though. That's the... Oh, wait. Do I have to hit activate? God, the light's on. Do I have to hit activate? You're sending power. The light is on. Yeah, okay, you got rid of that. That is a problem. Huh. Oh, shit. Okay, so I can turn that? We can't get there, though. I need a pump room. I need a pump room or the tomb in the beginning. That's the only ways I can actually get back, like, get behind the minecart. Because I pushed it back for some stupid reason. Oh, this is very unfortunate. Okay. I gotta leave you for now so I can go do other stuff, but I will flip it back if we get a pump room. Oh, I did not think this through. Why can't I use the key? The secret garden key. Does it have to be on the west side? Maybe? That could make sense. Alright, every time I do a red room experiment. Experiment successful. Every time I do a red room, I get 2 dice. Which is good. Which is good. Yeah, I can't use the... Ooh, the study. Yeah, we got 2 ways left and 1 on the left side. I think we're fine. There's a safe in here. And from what we've gathered before, and the hints that were given to me, which I've explained, the clue is almost always within the room. I don't know if this is the room that's exempt, but I was told that. And these are all related to that other puzzle, which kind of is a clue in a way. Oh, when did I get a magnify? Did I just pick that up? Uh-oh. Well, we have more stuff to zoom in on then. I'm thinking about so many things, I'm like forgetting basic things in front of me. It's like episode 1. U. D8. D8. U. ABC. Wait, why is ABC backwards? That doesn't seem right. I guess it has to be, or you wouldn't have H8 there. D8. Or 8D. Which that one message that one time said, raise the 8D if we're in trouble. You just feel like the overall puzzle, but maybe you're talking 8 dates crack, 8 saves. If we count small gates. Why can I spin you? I'll never understand why I can spin these. It wouldn't affect a compass, but the pictures would not be relevant to the safe code. You guys don't have any numbers. Do I count the amount of books on top of here? 6? 6 what? I need a month and a day. Unless you can translate this. So it would be January, February, March, April. And then you do the 8. Okay, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You only have 8 letters on the board as well. So you couldn't even do every month. There's no reason not to. Oops, wrong one. April 8. Okay. There's no way this isn't the safe code. It's just I have to look at this differently. D is 4. Or if I'm looking at it backwards like I'm looking at it, then D is 6. So I could try June 8th or 8-6. June 8th. 8-6. What was the first combo I did? 4-8. 8-4? Nope. What if I looked at it from this way? What if it's supposed to be like DD88? No, you couldn't do 4. That'd be like 44. And you can't have 88 days in a month. How does anyone mention at least a month in here? Pulled off by Thursday. Yeah, that's not gonna help. You don't mention it either. Okay. I want to solve you. This one could just not have the information in the room like the other ones. What other combinations make sense? D for December? That would be bizarre. December is the only month with a D in it. Do any of the other months? No. Oh, February. F. Okay, we're doing it. 12/08. Okay. Woo! That was a puzzle. This would have made a lot more sense if they would have had a J in here or an N or anything. But the fact that it said D, that was a huge shot in the dark. Oh, 2. And nothing going on. Okay. Lore. December 8th. M. Or H? Who are you? It's from Caleb. Oh, it's from Caleb Manning. M or H, like Herbert. Be prepared for our plans to be set in motion in 4 months, or in a month or two. It's all lining up, and all of our hard work is about to come to fruition. I have just learned that several members of the museum's guard are sympathetic to our cause. Oh, this is before the heist? We suspect 2 more to be pure opportunists whose loyalty extends only to their coin purse. Your uncle? Oh, this is to Miriam. Okay, M, Mary. Your uncle has already agreed to let us use Mount Holly's flexible floor plan for a trial run. Ooh, assuming the red print we have secured of the museum, the red print, closed exhibit, is in fact accurate and up to date. We should begin these trials without delay once you arrive. If you can, within the next 2 months, fabricate some fiction that might alleviate us of the presence of the servant staff. Fabricate some fiction. What year was this? Oh shit, what year was the heist? It's back in the archive that we read when the heist took place. It was like 87 or something. I would have to like timeline these dates. I'm thinking about it at this point. I think I'm going to eventually just write down what happened on what date and then put them in chronological order, because clearly some of these are part of a mystery, knowing when certain things happened. 2 months, fabricate some fiction that might alleviate presence of servant staff. Okay. Until we meet on the shores of White Sands. Caleb. Shores of White Sands. Oh? Oh. Oh. Doors in this room are security locked. That's pretty cool. So we get to see the heist mock-up plan. I don't really need to take a picture of that though, do I? Let me take a picture of this. Did I already get the other one? No. Damn. Okay. I'm gonna finally be able to mark that one off. Still, which ones are we missing? All right, sorry. I had to find my glasses as well. Apparently I left them downstairs. Okay. Wait, I don't have it added. Shit. Here we go. Sorry. OBS nonsense. So, once again, I have to set my style language. There we go. We have all these rooms. We're missing just the draft studio at the moment. I don't doubt there's more safes, but we currently have 4 letters as well. We have 3 torch locations. Got to drain the fountain. Find that key. We have 2 microchips. 3 books to read. Boiler room, highly likely for the red door. God, I wish I could do that right now. Pump room, please. Please appear. And then for... Yeah, it's just that for the safe. Okay. Oh, I have to add you, just in case I need to grab a gem again. So this is the study safe. What was it? December 1208. Okay. You know, it'd be funny. The drafting studio safe is, well, it's in a diagram or a whatever, a mock-up of the study here. What if it's just the same combination? That'd be interesting. I'd take it. I haven't drafted a drafting studio in a while though, so I don't know about the chances there. So those are our current goals. I got to keep checking once in a while and showing, so because we're all over the place for these bonus episodes. Okay, oddly enough, I believe I get 5 rooms here. 1 for each. Does it count you? Do I get 6 rooms? Okay, you go to foundation. You go back to the passageway. Do you have a boiler? Oh, it doesn't have a boiler vent. Okay, we have a sideways door here. That's what I was wondering. Oh, you're just open. Oh. Damn. Ooh. Oh. You got a backup lever here. The greenhouse is the south lever. The great hall is the east lever. And the secret garden's supposed to be the west lever, I believe. We have a backup lever here. I mean, we'll press you. Why not? One of my goals is to get into that room, but I just don't... I'm not, like, actively like, I'm gonna get there. I mean, maybe we'll get there. We're not too far. The problem is I have no gems, so... I don't really like my chances. I can go left from here. Yeah, no gems is making this very awkward. I could go back to the commissary. I have a lot of steps. Okay. I also have 1 key left. So, I'm making a pick sound amplifier in the hopes that we do potentially make it. I would have to run back and hit the north switch again, which would kind of suck. Because then I would need a pump room. I've screwed myself out of being able to get back there. We have a magnifying glass. Hold. Anything written on the notes? No. Okay, well, E. I bought 4 gems. Maybe I'll go over to tunnel and try to expand there a little bit. See if I can connect. There are a few things on the way that I want to magnify as well. Like you. God, this is so hard with the right analog. Not hard, but it like overshoots. Because you go like, boop, and it just, it keeps going. So I gotta like tap it very slowly to keep it centered. Also, I found out you can just kind of go behind this stuff. Apparently, we're way skinnier than I thought we were. If we can make it through here. Ever since the attic, I've just been running into things all over the place. Like, I bet... Nope. Can't make it back there. And we've already magnified in this room, though. I didn't magnify you. Okay. And you, obviously, we've done this before. Let's just do it again to be sure. Swan Song. I also noticed that the license plate on the car in the garage, it's like SNSNG or something. It's basically Swan Song without the vowels. Okay. Gotta be extra thorough. Nothing. No. Blue memos. Oh, wait. I can literally... unlock... Oh! Okay, that one is half visible as well. Red memos equal lie unless written by hand. Oh. Have we even seen a red memo written by hand? I don't even know that was a thing. I thought they were all typed out. Oh, what? Oh, we're at the thing. We're at the thing. Yeah, this is the security room setup. Just the front 4 desks. Or front desk. Okay, so you're pointing at the office right now. What does that mean? Can I get back here? Do I have to unplug this monitor? Why are you pointing at the office? That is the right picture, right? I mean, it lines up. Yeah, you can even tell the one next to it to the right of it is like tilted, and there's a little space, and then these 2 tiny monitors. What is the significance of that monitor? Does the attic show where secret items will be hidden? Is that not the office? Interesting. I have not made an office today, so I wonder why that is. Also, I forgot to double check this room. You. What was that? Oh. Huh. Did I know? I don't know if I've heard this song come in before. You. I'm pretty sure this is Simon, right? I can't magnifying glass it. I'm assuming this is the parents of Lady Epson. Don't know their names. Oh, I really want to open you. Okay, there's not really much going on here. I just had to be sure. I've already done this. I know I have. Yeah, magnifying glass isn't super helpful in here. I'm real curious what this is actually supposed to mean, though. Does it never end? It's a spiral. Looks like an eye. Do you feel like you're being watched? What's going on there? Do I have a shovel? I have like every item. Do I have a sledgehammer? Good. Alright, this is good. I can go buy more gems if I want. Key! Old shoe. Tunnels seem fairly beneficial. Hold on. If I can make a 3-way door. Conference room. Ah, screw it. Let's make a gift shop. I don't think I'm magnifying glass in here. Oh, I also bought the Mount Holly t-shirt in the lunchbox. This has been very helpful. We don't have that much money. What the hell are you? No what? None would dare to open it? Oh, this is the box. The lockbox from the book. Ooh. Why would I ever want to open it after reading that? Absolutely. Why would I ever want to open this? I'm just gonna die. Might be interesting, though. Okay, where are we? That's going that way. I want to see if I can secret garden right here. Orange it. Oh, damn. This is bigger than I thought. Broken lever. Thank you. Okay, lots of flowers. Excuse me? Why am I so far off to the left? What? You look extremely breakable. Okay, I'm gonna use this. Wait. Sledgehammer. Battery pack. Broken lever. 56 steps. Oh, God. What do you do? Uh-oh. The clock tower. The clock tower had a note on this, I believe. They mentioned east wind or something. Alright. What happens if I hit you again? Or south? East-west. Okay, so you got 3 stacked arrows here. That have to go in a certain direction. This is a new puzzle. I gotta add it. Okay. It's been added. 3 levers, question mark. Lowest near fountain. Middle, question mark. High, question mark. Okay, we got this one. Middle. What the? Wait, what? Oh. Did I just solve it? Oh, all 3 are pointing towards the... Okay. I'm writing that down. Okay. This is starting to make me think that this is the only piece of this puzzle and I can just delete that. But... Point compass towards... moon. Oh, I forgot. I put it away. Point compass towards moon. There's definitely more to it. There's a breakable wall here. I bet there's another switch. I bet the 3rd one is there. And there's another puzzle. You already pressed. The Mechanarium had the same lever as this one. Interesting. So you unlock like backup levers and stuff. It's crazy. I think we're done here. Oh, okay. This is another very good day. Okay, I need to drain the fountain, literally put everything in the reservoir, and it'll have 2 levels. If I add 1 more thing of water into the reservoir after that, we should be able to take the boat and do the torch. I have a magnifying glass and... Shit, did I need a metal detector? Can I not make a burning torch? Or a burning glass? It's okay. It's okay. This is permanent. So we can fix the water level and then do that later. But the key is not on me. The key from that chest, it's not on me. Which means it's in the chest. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, well, give me a minute to fix this. Wow. How convenient. That took a little bit of back and forth, moving the water around, but not only did we drain the fountain, leave this with one, we got the kitchen drained, so I can actually test to see what the hell the kitchen pump here does, because we don't have an aquarium or greenhouse, so yeah, this works out. Okay. You're off. Wait, I have a lockpick kit. And you go right into the antechamber? Okay, so that means 1, 2, 3. 10, 11, 12, 13. I would need 13 steps to go from the entrance hall to the antechamber. Keep that in mind, me. Okay, we're gonna go locker room. Look at that, it's just open. And see if I can pick these. Okay, I don't want to go in there until later. We don't need the basement key. Oh, we do. We do. Yeah, we do. Oh, that's unfortunate. Wait. No! I can't pick sound amplifier on these? Oh. That would have been a lot of free money, probably. Is there any notes or hidden button in here? No. No one random open locker? Okay, I'm gonna need the basement key. Ooh. Thank you. Why the random allowance to... Oh, because I have a quest bedroom. Thank God I placed that. I did not think I was going to make it here today. This has been a very successful run. It might end up being its own episode. I don't know, but we're definitely not done. Definitely not done with this run. Okay, I got to sort my head quick here because it's a mess. Okay, I wrote it down to be safe. So, we're going to build towards the dining room quick. Hopefully. Hopefully we'll see, because now I can get steps back. I'm going to play out this run the way it is. And a rumpus room? Are you kidding me? That'll build towards the dining room. Put everything on hold. We're going to talk to Alzara first. Sir? Is there anything around here? I think it's just Alzara in this room. I don't think there's anything to magnify. Give me the good stuff.
And, as it was foretold, I am awakened at the sound of a dropping coin. You find yourself face to face with the great Alzara.
I sure do.
And I suspect you wish me to look into your future.
Or past.
The image is becoming clear. I hear the pattering steps of children running in the forest. The joyful echoes of laughter in the courtyard. I see an old man sitting in an even older chair. A seed that has served many generations, each with their own stories, each with their own secrets, each with their own endings, but all in the by the great Alzara. Until the dawn of the following day, I will have nothing more to say.
Thank you, sir. I noticed one thing in there. First of all, the future us, looking good. Behind us, there was a broken candle? Candelabra, whatever it is. And in that picture, there was also one. Oh, shit. Did I really not make a drawing room this time? That's... Okay, we'll have to check later. But if the picture... If that's not a... No, it couldn't be a future picture. Drawing room? Damn it. A great hall? Yeah. Give it to me. I should write that down or I'm going to forget. Okay, that's written down. I also have to double check his other one too with the guy that was following us in the previous thing. What about now? Won't work that time. Hey, look. What happens if you open like full access to the Antechamber? Just make it fully unlocked forever if you do. That'd be something. What about now? I can't believe that works so well. You just do it again. You don't seem to be able to pick it. Oh, what about 3 times? Why does that work? This thing is so effective. So effective. I don't even really need these keys. Ah, that means the switch is right here. I don't know, we just pulled the switch. We just pulled the switch. It's right there. Okay, I have a whole list of things I need to do, but I do want to draft you and see what's up. Don't really need more keys right now. An aquarium would be all right, but I don't really want to waste gems. I don't care what this is. I don't have any tomorrow rooms. That would be wasted. Redraw. The ballroom would be a dead end, and there is only one thing that we have magnified, I believe, last time. Observatory. How many stars do we have? 25? Halfway there. I think we want all of these. Key. Apple. Slice. Damn. So much stuff. Okay. Real quick. Okay. Nothing on here. I had to double check. Also, spin you for good measure. Okay, and then I'm just gonna place something. If we can get new rooms, then... Nope. Too difficult to pick. I think that's the text that's like, yep, you're done. It's gonna fail. I don't have gems. I would have loved a vault right now. I have a vault key, 149. Oh, man. Screw it, we'll do a hallway. Doesn't really matter what I get here. Do we have anything else to do in the office? Like zooming in? Maybe, but new rooms, maybe? Or a walk-in closet? I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm gonna well, actually... What items? What could be left? Oh, maybe another metal detector? No. Car keys. I can't make a garage. It's impossible. But I could use them in a craft, maybe? Alright, man. This is the same photo as in the dark room. I don't think this is the one they wanted a bigger print of, though. I don't know what room that is. Oh, is this the crate one? I bet it is. Crate create. Oh. So it is we. If we. I mean, it was 100% guaranteed it was going to be, but that confirms it right there. And then you're a W? Well, that's like wheat or grain. Fire. Light. Plight. Actually, I don't know at the top of my head, but we don't really need to solve that anymore, so I'm not gonna think about that one. Okay. Moving on. It is very important. For my own sanity. Wait. It's that one. It's that one. Okay. So, that is on. We can test that. I am going to the kitchen next because we turned the water off. Can I magnifying glass the menu? No. How many red rooms I got? 1, 2... that's 10 steps. And a banana. And then another banana. Okay. And then you. Refill can? You can do that? Then I could keep getting gems from green rooms. Ooh. Not limited to 3. That's good information. Okay. Water's off. How did I refill my water can? It doesn't seem to have done anything. It just made this sink not work, but I still refilled my can, so... I don't know. I think turning the water off in the kitchen does nothing. Banana. I missed so much stuff. Alright, and then in here, please, dear God, can I make... No, it's metal detector only. Okay, we can't use the torch this run, but that's fine because I can make a power hammer. And on our way back up, we're gonna hit that wall in the garden, assuming it breaks. It definitely is going to break, though. Okay. That is everything. Oh, 2 chests in the hall, too. Damn. 14 gems? Could I make a freezer, please? I got 61 steps. Got a tool shed out there, that'd be pointless. Oh yeah, I made quite a few wishes. Maybe I should leave these in here. You look like I could jump in. Wait, what? Do I not need to use the basement key? Oh. Oh, look at that. Oh, we can get to it. That's exciting. All right. Let me go move the minecart so that we don't have to deal with that again. I really wish I could light you. I wonder if you have to light them in a certain order. Moving this up screwed me out of like hours of potential things that I could have got done. It was already back. It was set in place and I moved it up for almost no reason. Okay. Take the boat. Do I get to move it? No. No, I don't. Oh, God. I was like, if you give me free control... it's too far down. Look at that. Although... You won't let me look over here, will you? Well, kind of. What happens if I lowered the water and the boat is sitting right here? Would it not work? You are absolutely something. I bet the door goes out to the precipice too. Okay, so you're there. All right. Okay, you two line up. So this is the angle I'd have to work with here. I'm just trying to see if there are any of them that I actually just can't get to that would help me line that up. I don't think so. What is the benefit of lifting this if you can't, like, go anywhere that you couldn't already go normally? I have no idea. Full sprint. So this is called the Inner Sanctum, right? This is called the Inner Sanctum, and we found a sanctum key. But we didn't have a way to get over here. That key probably goes to one of these. Or maybe all of them, and it's a pick your door for the day kind of thing. But now the fountain is drained, which makes that not work. I'm gonna move back down. Because I couldn't go down and grab it. So I'm gonna have to get a pump room again, raise the reservoir, or lower the reservoir. It's open! Ooh! Wait, what the hell? Oh! What is this? Oh, no. I see something. And then over there? Oh, no. I see now. I see now. Okay. That one right there, I believe, raises it up. So I'd need a way to raise it up and then use the lower platforms to get there and walk around and go up. Right? I'd have to raise it up, but I'd also need it to be turned one to the left. Or completely to the right. Actually, that would make more sense. It would need to be for me to reach that room or that room. Okay, I would have to shift everything left one, actually. But I couldn't do that and get over there. That's impossible. But if I could get to a rotate lever, like a left-right lever, I could rotate it one, move to the next platform, rotate it one, move to the next platform. That makes sense. I think the main thing to note, these two are lined up. Therefore, I need to point that at that. So when I raise it, I can get on that and move over to the right. Wait a minute, that doesn't line up. That doesn't line up at all, because then I'd end up over there and there's no switch over there. Oh man, this itself is going to be a puzzle. Okay, well, you move at the same pace. Okay. How the hell? How the hell would I do that? Okay, if I put you over there and then I flip it, you'd end up over on that side or here. These are your only two combinations. Therefore, I do have to move it one. If I raise it there, it won't work. Two. That doesn't work. I'm gonna go over there anyway, just to confirm this is even the up-down one, because I don't know for sure. It could be that one, but I think it's this one. Oh, it skips one. Oh, that solves every problem. Oh, okay. Okay, the one that needs to be lined up is you. And you're actually... I hate that you can't see the door right here. Oh, what? Okay, we came in there, we walked over here. I think it was there. Why can't we see the door? Is it this one? No. Bam. I need to be able to get back across, so I need to do that, and then I can go. Okay, with this set up like this, you go over to that, which I think is a door. If not, I can rotate from this side, thankfully. Shit. There. I moved it. Oh. 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 Entry level? 6. Dock level 13 to access the dock. Full drains. Entry level though. Okay. This is big. This is big info. Thank you. Actually, technically, where's the pump room? Oh, it's all the way in the... Yeah, we're going to be going by there. I could do it. I could do it.